A last-minute veto throws the future of the state into uncertainty. Tulsa courts have come to a sentencing decision for a former police officer, and Heisman hopeful is in the hot seat yet again. This is OU Nightly.
OU quarterback Baker Mayfield will pay a heavy price for his sideline behavior in Lawrence on Saturday.
OU coach Lincoln Riley is benching Mayfield for his final home game start and stripping him of his team captain role. This is not Mayfield's first brush with controversy. OU Nightly asked students what they thought after the news broke this afternoon.
I think when you're in a position like Baker and you're in the spotlight often, you need to be held to a certain standard, and I think that they made the right decision. You can't really conduct yourself in that way when you're on national television.
I don't feel like it's that big of a deal because he'll probably still be playing in most of the games, so just starting, he just won't be in the starting play, and after that he'll probably be in the game.
I think that's super unfair, especially at this time in the season when every game matters, especially playoffs.
I feel like it's a little harsh considering that Kansas basically antagonized the whole entire situation for the most part, but I understand the coaches want to show Oklahoma has respect for other teams in the division.
Tori Johnson will have more on the Mayfield affair coming up in sports.
And just when lawmakers thought they were off the hook, Mary Fallin used her powers to pull them right back in.
That's right, Sammy. After two budget-fixing bills died on the Senate floor, House Bill 1019 made it to the governor's desk, only to be ripped apart.
On Friday evening, Fallin vetoed 165 of the 170 sections of House Bill 1019. The bill was the legislators' last attempt to fill Oklahoma's $215 million budget hole. In a press release, Fallin said the bill doesn't provide a long-term solution.
Among other things, the vetoes preserve a $30 million emergency fund for the Department of Health to afford their next payroll. Fallin also said she couldn't support the bill because it uses most of the state's one-time funds and a huge portion of the rainy day funds as well.
Fallin said signing 1019 would have left the state open for a $600 million hole in February. With the budget hole problem unsolved, Fallin says she's calling a new special session in the near future.
Stay with us in the coming weeks for more coverage on the state's budget crisis.
And this morning, after 3 mistrials with 3 hung juries, the Tulsa County District Court sentenced former Oklahoma police officer Shannon Kepler to 15 years in prison for the fatal shootings of his daughter's boyfriend, Jeremy Lake. Kepler was convicted last month of first-degree manslaughter for the shooting in 2014, and he told investigators Lake was armed and he acted in self-defense. Police found no weapons on Lake or near the scene. In addition to his prison time, Tulsa County District Court Judge Sharon Holmes issued Kepler a $10,000 fine. Well, you could tell that it was windy from those Baker videos.
Exactly.
Blowing all around.
It's feeling good outside though, not too hot, not too cold,
that wind
feeling
does
like
help
fall.
with it.
Michael, what's going on today in weather?
Well, guys, it has been a very windy day. Right now, it is actually pretty nice temperatures outside. It's lower 60s. It feels pretty nice outside. It's been one of those nicer days that we've had versus last week where we hit 80 degrees one day. And it's about, we do have those strong winds, about 21 miles per hour out of the southwest right now. We have seen some winds actually peak up to 25, and we have seen gusts above 30 today outside. It's been quite a windy day, and tonight it's going to stay a pretty windy night. 71, we're going to be cooling down to only about the upper 60s, so it's not going to be too cold of a night. And coming up later on, I'm going to talk about another windy day we got, a cold front moving through, and of course, your Thanksgiving forecast.
Windy seems like an understatement, Michael. Well, Harlee Toothman joins us now in News Center with the latest on the president's announcement today regarding North Korea. Harlee?
President Donald Trump announced Monday that North Korea will be placed on America's terrorism blacklist.
Is designating North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism. should have happened a long time ago, should have happened years ago. In addition to threatening the world by nuclear devastation, North Korea has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil.
North Korea will join Iran, Sudan, and Syria on the blacklist. The Treasury Department will announce new sanctions against North Korea in the following weeks. One will take place tomorrow. A $20,000 reward is being offered in the case of a slain Border Patrol agent. Rogelio Martinez and his partner were responding to activity on Interstate 10 in southwest Texas, where the partner reported that they were both injured. Other agents responded, provided medical care, and transported the pair to the local hospital, where Martinez died and the partner remains in serious condition. Authorities have not said how the two were injured, but a Customs and Border Protection spokesman said Martinez was not shot. Charles Manson, the cult leader who murdered 7 people, died late last night at the age of 83. Manson started a cult known as the Manson family and terrorized the city of Los Angeles, starting with the murder of actress Sharon Tate in 1969. He was sentenced to serve 9 life sentences and was denied parole 12 times. He died in the California prison where he spent most of his life. In Sammi, Zimbabwe President Robert Mugabe, the world's oldest leader at 93 years old, has missed his deadline today set by his party to resign.
Thanks, Harlee.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, you might make a better hairdresser than the professionals in Oklahoma salons.
Plus, the Force is soon to be with these Star Wars gamers, and you don't want to be the only one Kenobi to know about it. Stay tuned. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Get ready for Bad Hair Days, Oklahoma. The Institute of Justice is pushing for many industries, including cosmetology, to be deregulated. In the state of Oklahoma, 1,500 hours of training are required to attain a cosmetology license. Salons and hair schools across the country are concerned about the health hazards that can result from these deregulations.
Important for us to be knowledgeable of the diseases and the chemicals that we are using. So whenever you're going to get your facial and they're using chemicals on you, it's very important that they know how to use those chemicals, because that's whenever you can get into chemical burns. If people aren't getting educated, then how are they going to know the chemicals that they're using?
The final report looking into cosmetology licensing in Oklahoma is due next month. And Abby Green joins us now in business with some out-of-this-world news regarding Star Wars. Abby?
The Keystone XL Pipeline passed another major hurdle today. After opposition from environmentalists, the Obama administration the Nebraska Commission has approved the Keystone XL Pipeline route. The approval is a win for President Trump since he overturned the decision on the pipelines in the wake of his presidency. The pipeline will provide oil from Alberta, Canada, Steele City, and Nebraska, and will connect to an existing Keystone Pipeline system. And may the Force be with gamers as the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 game strikes up controversy. The new installment in the Battlefield franchise contains content that players can only access if they buy it. This is a growing trend in the industry, where developers will deliver a game that requires players to make additional purchases to get the full game experience. These purchases, known as the DLC, range anywhere from $60 or higher when the additional fees are added. EA developers have faced backlash due to the controversy. And starting this December, British Airways is making changes to their boarding process. BA passengers who are paying the least for their tickets and do not have the gold and silver frequent flyer status will be able to board in the 4th or 5th boarding groups. The new procedures are an effort to speed up the process and make it easier to understand for customers. Travelers with frequent flyer status and traveling with the cheaper tickets that only have hand luggage may not have to board in the last groups. And Black Friday is almost here, and so are the deals. Wallet Hub analyst Jill Gonzalez is encouraging shoppers to keep average discount prices in mind as they shop. According to Wallet Hub, apparel and accessories will have discounts averaging 28.03%, computers and phones averaging 10.61%, and appliances at 9.9%. Categories such as jewelry, apparel, and others are likely to have greater discounts later this holiday season. And Sonic is also giving out half-price cheeseburgers on Thanksgiving.
If Thanksgiving wasn't enough.
I will be going there regardless.
You and me both.
I don't know. I'll be more of a leftovers girl. But good for Sonic. Good for Sonic.
For sure.
You can always use a burger, I guess.
Right.
Always.
Thank you, Abby.
Thanks, Abby.
The U.S. Geological Survey recorded 2 earthquakes yesterday near Edmond. A 3.7 and a 2.9 magnitude earthquake rocked Edmond in the early hours of Sunday morning, and no injuries or severe damage has been reported. In recent years, earthquakes have shook the Sooner State, and many have been linked to fracking.
Oklahoma authorities are working on solving the medieval-esque murder in Claremore. This morning, police arrested 2 men in connection with the death of Mark McKinney, who was allegedly killed with a sword. Michael Spears was arrested on complaints of first-degree murder and robbery, and Larry McCoy was arrested for taking items from McKinney's body after his death. Investigators say McKinney was visiting Spears' residence when an altercation ensued. The investigation is ongoing.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, Baker Mayfield in trouble again, and Coach Lincoln Riley has some punishment for the Heisman contender.
He sure does. And Michael Bohling is standing by with this week's weather. What's in store for our Thanksgiving week, Michael?
Well, it's still a sunny day outside right now, but I will have that Thanksgiving forecast coming right up right after this break. Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Michael Bohling here with your forecast today. Looking outside at Norman, it is a nice day outside right now. We do have that sun beginning to set, but not very many clouds out there. It's been a great day. We're sitting right around 62 degrees right now. Those winds coming out of the south, 18 degrees, and it is a very dry day with that dew point only down to 27. A very dry day indeed. And now as we look at the radar forecast, we do have this cold front that's going to start pushing through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. As you'll see right now, this is Tuesday morning, and it's going to push throughout the day, and it's not going to cool us down much tomorrow, but tomorrow night it's going to cool us down quite a bit. As you see at 30 degrees, I don't think it might get that cold, but it's actually going to be pretty cold. We're probably going to see some freezes overnight that on Wednesday morning. And lows tomorrow is about 40 degrees in Oklahoma City, 39 in Norman, and about 35 out in Guymon. It's not going to be quite as cool as we're going to see in a couple of nights, but it's still going to be another chilly night, well, especially tomorrow morning. And then looking at tomorrow, about 40 degrees when you wake up. We're going to be warming up rather quickly, though. You're going to see that 60-degree temperature at noon. But when that cold front moves through, I'm not expecting us to cool or warm up much after that. Probably going to cool down, actually, after noon as we move out through the day. And tomorrow we do have 61 degrees in OKC, and it's about low 60s across pretty much everywhere tomorrow. But we do have these gusty winds coming back, much like we saw today. You see 20 to 30 miles per hour coming out of the northwest as that cold front begins to move through tomorrow. As we look at Thanksgiving, about 65 degrees. It's going to be a very, very nice Thanksgiving. Those winds will definitely calm down for us. About 38 degrees for the dew point. It's actually going to be a really nice Thanksgiving. It's going to be a little bit warmer than normal, but it's going to be a nice day outside. And as we look on Tuesday, it's going to be a nice windy day again, much like we saw today, as that cold front begins to push through. But we're going to cool down quite a bit on Wednesday. You see it's 52 degrees, a low of 31. That's when we're going to see some freezes across Oklahoma. And that's going to push through, and we're going to calm down these winds. And you'll see at 65 degrees on Thanksgiving, but we will start to warm up a little bit as we work our way into the weekend, about mid to upper 60s as we're going to be moving out. But the clouds are actually going to be pretty clear, nice and mostly sunny outside. And I mean, it's really going to be a nice week. I mean, it's a great fall week if you ask me.
Yeah, perfect to ring in the holidays with your family.
Exactly. If it could stay like this every day, all week, forever, I would be happy.
Oh yeah,
this is my kind of weather.
And the leaves and the coloring and everything.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm
feel like it's been an especially
outside.
beautiful fall too.
I'm just scared for the freezing and the winter that's coming.
That comes out of nowhere.
A little break from
Sure does.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michael. And Tori Johnson is here with more on what happened with Baker Mayfield this weekend.
Yeah, Sammy, let's talk about what's driving everyone in Lawrence nuts. As mentioned earlier in the newscast, Baker got himself in some trouble and won't be starting this Saturday. I've got more on Lincoln Riley's decision to bench the superstar. Hey, don't go anywhere. Sports is up next. The Oklahoma Sooners Heisman hopeful quarterback will not be starting in his final home game on Saturday, and he will not be a team captain for the game. His head coach had a hard time explaining it all. Mayfield will sit after his action in Saturday's 41-3 win over Kansas in Lawrence. Throw a few cheap shots in at his injured shoulder, and the Sooners QB1 had enough. However, he may have went too far.
It's not the example I want to set. It's not the legacy I want to leave at OU. It's not. So I truly do apologize. It's, you know, think about the kids that are watching. It's not something I want to do. And so to the parents out there, I'm sorry. It's not anything that you want your kids to watch or to have a role model. So I really do apologize from the bottom of my heart.
Today, a tearful Lincoln Riley addressed the reasons for benching his star quarterback. It was an emotional few minutes for the head coach.
No matter how long I go coaching, whatever the rest of my career ends up being like, I don't know that I'll ever have a player that's as special to me as he is. And we've been through a lot together, and he's a tremendous teammate. He's the best football player in America. He's got a great heart that a lot of people don't get the chance to see like I do, and I'm proud as hell to be his coach.
The men's basketball team will head into Portland for the first round of the PK80 on Thanksgiving Day with a matchup against the Arkansas Razorbacks. The team is undefeated, led by freshman Trey Young, who has already broken records and is this week's Big 12 Newcomer of the Week. The women are coming off a win against SMU to open up a 3-game road swing, and they take on Colorado State on Tuesday. And our friends over at Sooner Sports Pad have a great show ready for us tonight. Gymnastics superstars Maggie Nichols and teammate Brianna Showers are stopping by. Also, no matter how you spell it, some freshmen named Trey are making their mark at OU this fall. Sports Pad airs live tonight on Fox College Sports Central and tomorrow right here after our newscast. Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys got a quick lead against the Philadelphia Eagles, but it did not last long. Philly got going, and Dallas had no answers. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz threw for 2 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions, and they had a running game that racked up more than 200 yards. The 37-9 win wrapped up the NFC East for the Eagles. The Thunder take on the Pelicans tonight at 7 in New Orleans. The Pelicans are looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. Anthony Davis will probably play for the first time since clearing concussion protocol. Russell Westbrook racked up a triple-double against the Pelicans last season, and the Thunder won 121-95. It should be a fun matchup with plenty of superstars. And the end of the Earnhardt era. Jr. is wrapping up his final NASCAR season this year. Earnhardt raced in his last NASCAR Cup Series and toasted the race with his good buddy, ESPN reporter Marty Smith.
And got a lot of friends, and we'll be friends forever, you know. What are we going to do, bud?
We're going to drink one of these beers. Hand me one of them damn beers real quick.
I got one right here.
Guys, that was on national TV right after the race.
That's hilarious.
I mean, could that be any more NASCAR?
Just cracking open a cold one with your buddy.
I like it.
Good
That's
for them.
my kind of interview.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Thank you so much, Tori. And still to come on OU Nightly, Queen Bee has a new crown.
New details have been released about the plane crash and death of 2 Oklahoman brothers. Marshall and Philip Cave were about to skydive in Hawaii when their plane crashed, killing all 5 passengers. Officials say there was no mechanical malfunction before the flight. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you. Today, Forbes crowned Beyonce the highest paid woman in music. From June of last year to now, the superstar has earned $105 million. Her visual album, Lemonade, and her Formation World Tour are 2 big reasons for her newfound title, with the tour bringing in $250,000 alone. Now, that's my girl.
Holy moly.
And she's a mother of 3 now.
Just a little
That
bit.
is my queen, and we also have a weather fact of the day. Tell us what's up.
That is right, guys. And today's weather fact is that it's going to be a little bit on the warm side, but it's not quite the record temperature. In 1965, we actually hit a high of 84 degrees on Thanksgiving. It was a
84
warm
degrees.
one.
Man,
almost as hot as Beyonce and her
right,
singing
and her
Summer
album
Shakers.
Lemonade.
Yeah,
Love it. Thank
no,
you
she
for
really
watching
is.
OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.